I never imagined a complete stranger would walk into our son's birthday party. Yet that's exactly what happened, and it changed everything in my life in a single instant. That morning, I woke up carrying both excitement and fatigue. My little boy had been counting down to this day with endless chatter about Balloon's cake and the gifts he couldn't wait to open. I was determined to give him a perfect celebration. Whatever tension lingered between my wife and me, I reminded myself it didn't matter today. This was his day, and he deserved nothing but laughter, joy, and warmth. I decorated the living room with bright balloons, hung a cheerful banner that read Happy Birthday, and made sure the cake was picture perfect. Family began arriving, my parents with their arms full of presents, her parents smiling proudly. Soon the house was filled with the playful chaos of kids running around and the hum of cheerful conversations. Then the doorbell rang again. Thinking it was just another guest, I opened the door and found a man I didn't recognize. He was neatly dressed, casually confident, holding a carefully wrapped gift. Before I could ask who he was, my wife rushed over. Her smile looked forced, her tone just a little too upbeat as she explained, "He's just a co-worker from the office, dropping off a present for our son." Something in her voice didn't sit right. Her cheer felt exaggerated, her expression too controlled. Still, I brushed the unease aside. Maybe it was simply a kind gesture. I shook his hand, though I couldn't ignore how easily he seemed to blend into our home, as if he belonged there. As the party went on, I kept noticing him. He wasn't just mingling casually. He lingered close to my wife, laughing too loudly at her jokes, standing far nearer than appropriate. Each time she introduced him to relatives, she repeated, "He's just a co-worker," but my gut whispered otherwise. I tried to set the discomfort aside and focus on my son's radiant smile as he darted around the room, blissfully unaware. But everything shifted when I stepped into the kitchen to grab more plates. There they were, my wife and the so-called co-worker, standing far too close, speaking in hushed voices, their hands brushed in a way no colleague should. And then before my eyes, he leaned in and kissed her. She didn't pull away. My chest clenched as a storm of emotions erupted inside me. Rage, betrayal, shock, heartbreak, burning and freezing all at once. My fists tightened, my breath caught. For a fleeting moment, I wanted to explode. But then my son's laughter echoed from the hallway, pulling me back. I refused to let her betrayal ruin his day. Swallowing the fury, I stepped back quietly, pretending I hadn't seen. Yet the image seared itself into my memory. I couldn't hold it in for long. I marched back into the kitchen, making sure they noticed me this time. Their faces drained of color, guilt written all over them. My wife opened her mouth, maybe to explain, but I cut her off. Driven by the anger I had suppressed, I confronted him. In blind fury, I grabbed him, shoved him hard, and unleashed the hurt he had brought into my home. The commotion drew everyone in. Family and kids rushed to the kitchen, gasps filling the air. My son, confused, clung tightly to his grandparents. My wife cried out, begging me to stop, but her pleas rang hollow. I threw the man out of our house, out of my son's birthday, shouting for all to hear, "You don't belong here. Don't ever come back." Then I turned to her. My voice shook, but was firm. "It's over. Don't be here when I return." The room fell silent, broken only by the faint rustle of balloons and the distant sound of the birthday song still playing. Her eyes widened with tears, but I didn't stay to see more. I left the house, walking away from the chaos, desperate for air, desperate to process the crushing truth that the woman I trusted, the mother of my child, had betrayed me on a day meant for love. The next morning, I acted without hesitation. I went to the courthouse and filed for divorce. No excuses, no second chances. Her decision had been made long before that kiss in the kitchen. I had been blind, maybe willfully so, but not anymore. Looking back, that day was both the most devastating and the most freeing moment of my life. I lost a marriage, but I reclaimed my self-respect. I stopped pretending. My son will always have my unconditional love and protection. But as for her, she became part of the past the moment her affair partner stepped into our son's birthday party.